playing games, no, no. What's my name? Said, what's my name?
ShakaShine.
Okay.
ShakaShine.
What's goody, fam? You already know who it is. It's ShakaShine, and I'm coming back at it with another reaction on ShakaShine Reacts. Today, I gotta give a big old shout out to Travis, and their request was Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and this is a courtship of rivals basketball, part 3. Make sure that you watch part 1 and part 2 before you watch this, because you will need the whole thing to understand. So, for the people that have been hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that comment button, you know me, this is a channel of giving credit where credit's due, and y'all deserve all the credit, so I gotta say thank you. Truly appreciate every single one of y'all. With that being said, for the people that are waiting on their requests, as you can see, we get to every single one of y'all. If I said to put it on the list, it's on the list and it's coming up. But you can always skip the line by hitting me with the donation, links right underneath the like button, and I'll make sure I get your reaction out within 72 hours. Now, as far as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird goes, if this is your first time seeing one of my sports reactions, make sure you check out part 1 and part 2, but also check out the sports playlist. We have a ton of sports reactions, a lot of them with Magic Johnson and even more of them with Larry Bird. So check it out. And without further ado, let's continue this story.
Guys can just rebound. A lot of guys can just make plays. We can do it all.
Larry and Magic could control the game with 12 shots. It was amazing. They'd be 7 for 12. They'd have 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. And you go, man, the guy shot the ball 12 times and was the best player on the court by far.
I think it was tough at first. I don't think either one of them wanted to recognize that they had any equal anywhere in what they did. But they sure as hell didn't want to recognize that their equal happened to be that other guy.
Yeah.
That's why we hated each other too, because we knew we were mirrors of each other.
I think for a while the two of them they had to come to grips with that.
They had begun changing the game, but with continued low television ratings and tape-delayed finals, the league was struggling to get the word out. When the NBA and CBS signed a new TV deal before the 82-83 season, the rescue plan was simple: sell more Bird and Magic, and sell them not just as ball players, but as arch-rival characters.
Exactly.
In their own dramatic saga.
You got this slick Showtime African-American guy out west, and you got the lunch bucket, floppy-haired white guy with the bruises all over his body. It's central casting. It's perfect.
I mean, this was like made in heaven.
Yeah.
In 1979, this idea of Magic and Bird was created, and so that was sort of a no-brainer. We'd have a doubleheader. It would be the Celtics playing first and the Lakers playing second, and that's the way we did it.
And when the Celtics and Lakers both reached the finals just a year into the new TV deal in 1984, it appeared the superstar investment was about to pay off.
Yeah, because it changed everything. Changed everything.
It was huge. It was probably the biggest moment the NBA had up to that point. You had Boston and LA, East against West. It had all the elements of a classic showdown.
Including what was becoming the most inescapable element of all.
Did we know that the blacks and whites were lining up? The whites with the Celtics, the blacks with... Of course we knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the Celtics' own backyard.
They land at Logan Airport at the '84 finals. He's getting accosted by various people who are telling him Larry's going to take him down. But this one older African-American gentleman comes up to me and goes, "Magic, I want to wish you well. Good luck. I want you to crush the Celtics." And he said, "Oh, well, where are you from?" He said, "Well, I'm from Boston." And he said, "You're from Boston and you're rooting for the Lakers? I thought everybody here was crazy about the Celtics." And he looked right at me and said, "Now, why would I root for those white boys?"
See, come on now, we gotta get over that. I'm glad that we are doing better, but come on, man. We're all people. We're all people.
Boston, after all, was a town still scarred by the ugly busing crisis of the mid-70s.
Oh.
A violent period of urban unrest during which white had been pitted against black. The resulting taint on the city nationally, coupled with a Boston roster littered with white players, affirmed to many black Americans that the Celtics were not the team for them.
Even today, people said, "You played with the Celtics, and you know I hated you at that time. You know, I wanted Magic to win. I didn't want that damn Larry Bird to win. We had all these black players, but they looked at us because we had Larry Bird leading us as a team that was white."
Yeah.
They were perfect archetypes.
Which again is ridiculous. Let me just put that out there for the 500th time. Ridiculous.
Hypes for what was becoming the biggest story in sports. But for the real-life players, the narrative was much simpler.
It's finally going to happen. We get to go head-to-head again. It's just a matter of rolling that ball out there and let's get it on.
Yeah.
Welcome then to the Boston Garden and the start of the NBA World Championship Series.
It's funny too because a lot of people were probably anticipating this so much, but no one more than Larry Bird and Magic Johnson themselves. You know? Crazy.
I'm Brent Musburger. In each of the last 4 NBA World Championship Series, either Magic or Bird has competed. But this is the first time that the two have gone head-to-head for the title.
Man, we jumped out on them that first game, and we won in Boston.
Oof.
And with less than a minute to go in Game 2, the Lakers were closing in on a commanding series lead.
Woo! Tied up.
Point on, things began to crumble.
Down to 9 seconds. Magic holds the ball. Magic trying to work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds. 1 second. He's going to have to shoot it. He doesn't get it off. He doesn't get it off.
Woo. Cheesy Johnson dribbling the timeout. What are you doing?
The Lakers regained their stride in Game 3.
Okay.
Only to be rudely knocked off it again in Game 4.
Let's go. Jeez.
And now let's watch it. Cooper and the Celtics, and now the bench is empty.
When Kurt Rambis got taken out, we started fighting and
For real.
for the plane.
Kareem swings the elbow, and now is yelling at Larry Bird. Jaw to jaw.
And it made us realize we were not mentally tougher than the Celtics.
Magic's just not himself.
They won't let the time run out as they did in Game 2. Harris steals the ball, and the Celtics call a timeout.
There were a number of places where, Irvin didn't do what people expected him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tied at 123.
He's not going to hit it. Watch.
He misses the first. Johnson misses them both. Celtics want a timeout. Despondent Magic Johnson goes to the bench. Bird turnaround hits.
And then this is where Larry Bird starts to get his shine on. Yeah.
Game 5 went to the Celtics. Game 6 to the Lakers. It was like
Gosh.
1979 all over again. Down to 1 game for Bird and Magic.
If everybody had to look at it, probably would have said this is going to be a 7-game series.
No, I thought we'd sweep them in 4, but this went a little bit longer. Now we just have to do it in 7. That's the only time I ever felt that. There ain't no way they're walking out here with a win.
Let's go.
No way.
Lakers have several chances, and here's Larry Bird shucking down the clock.
Tensions are high. Tensions are high as can be. Let's go.
Bird. How does he do it? Now Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1. And he loses it.
Woo. Crazy.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
He can't. It looks like he just can't believe it.
I pride myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurting. Hope we killed him.
Yeah, because it was payback from college days for sure.
Made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. Not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy's suffering, and you know he was.
I remember after the game that both he and I were in the showers crying and stayed in there for about 35, 40 minutes. It was hard because not only had we lost to the Boston Celtics, he had lost to his nemesis, Larry Bird.
Exactly. But Larry must have been high up on the clouds on this one.
I think he just made me dislike him more, you know, because he was that good. And I think you be jealous. You jealous a little bit.
Larry, does this get you even with Magic for what happened between Michigan State and Indiana State all those many years ago?
Yeah, we're professionals now, but I won this one for Terre Haute.
Well, it was a big deal, and I remember asking Quinn Buckner about it afterwards. They had a celebration in downtown Boston after they won the championship, and you know, it was unusual for Larry to have these little outbursts, as Quinn would call them. But you know, about 11:30 at night, finally he turned to Quinn. He goes, "I got him. I finally got him." He was talking about Magic.
Exactly, because it was eating at him for years. Woo! Their rivalry is so good. So good. Exactly what basketball needed at the exact time that it needed it. So, let's go.
The league was rejoicing too. Game 7 of the '84 series was one of CBS's highest-rated telecasts of the year.
I bet.
And the highest-rated game the NBA had ever produced.
All of a sudden, whether it was at CBS or Madison Avenue, the sports writers around the country became phenomena. What is happening here?
Yeah.
The absolute foundation in this resurgence was the Celtics and the Lakers, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
But Magic was in no
changing the whole game
mood to bask in the accomplishment.
I took a media beating. Tragic Magic. This is why we say Larry Bird is better. It's probably the first time ever in my life I was depressed. And I didn't want people to see me.
All that pressure on you, man. It'll get to you.
It was something I never dealt with in my life.
That particular series, that championship series, redefined his whole career because he never stopped working after that.
Magic was on a mission to prove to himself and the world that with the ball in his hands, he was still the one in control. And after his Lakers ran through the '85 season, he quickly got what he wanted. Another shot at Bird and the Celtics.
Let's go.
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
Let's go.
But that smile belied the intensity of the clash that awaited.
Come on now, come on.
If I had a glass of water and any of those guys had been on fire, I would have drank the water and watched them.
I'm telling you, they were not messing with each other. Period, point blank.
They called us, chokers and sissies. We didn't like that, and they thought less of us. I knew they did.
In '85, we played them 4 times in exhibition season for some reason. I don't know why they scheduled that. By the 4th game, there was an all-out brawl.
They call this one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport, the Celtics and the Lakers. And if that is true, it is the most one-sided rivalry in all of sports. 8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times the Celtics have won.
Dang, putting it out there like that.
Guard in his 6th year from Michigan State at number 32, Magic Johnson.
But in the '85 finals, Magic changed the script. Over 6 grueling games, he masterfully controlled the pace with all-around brilliance.
He has a triple-double again.
Let's go.
Behind their point guard, the Lakers finally knocked out the Celtics, winning the clinching game in the Boston Garden.
3 in 6 years, LA comes to Boston and wins the world title.
Woo! They wanted that bad.
Redemption for one Magic Johnson. It's a long year last year to wait for this moment right now.
Magic had evened the score with Bird on the NBA floor.
Yeah.
But the significance of their rivalry and their relationship was still just taking hold.
All right, so we have hit part 3. That is part 3, you guys. And in my personal opinion, this is just getting better and better and better and better. Let's go. I'm still learning more and more stuff. I knew it was intense, but they're doing a really good job at showing you how intense it really was for the both of them, and not just for them, for the teams and the whole cities that were involved. It's crazy. So, yeah, I'm messing with it. If you learned something, please let me know what you learned. Put it in the comments. And if you're making it this far, you might as well hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that comment button. Let me know your favorite Larry Bird or Magic Johnson game and what else you want to see me react to. If you're already doing that and making it this far, then I got to say thank you. I truly appreciate every single one of y'all. And with that being said, you know I'll be back at it with another reaction tomorrow.